Hey everyone, we'll get started in just a minute. I tweaked the audio levels a bit because some people were saying it was a bit low. So, AR, why don't you try talking and let's see about how our levels are off each other.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, need to pull yours
Well,
down a lot. 1 second. Try again.
I am. I just have that booming voice that carries across everything.
Okay, it looks like ours are about even, but it looks like you're cutting out a little bit again. Try talking.
Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna try talking again. Ran out of funny things to say after the commentary last time.
Okay. It looks, let me pull you down a little bit more again. Okay, try one more time.
Okay.
Okay, how do,
No, sounds. Well, the chat room is I think responding to the initial
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I thought I had it even before we started, and then the instant you talk, it just blew right to the red, like the first word you said. I think we're about
Yeah,
even
I'm
now.
just.
Yeah. I would have you talk.
I just project all the time.
I would have you talk, May, but the truth is there's no way for me to change both of you. You're on the
Oh,
same.
right.
Let's see.
Hmm.
I'll tweak mine down just a little bit. Okay, that looks about right. AR, try talking one more time.
Okay, one more time to talk here. I feel
Okay.
like I'm going to talking here more than I will during the podcast.
Okay, that looks
Oh.
about right. Okay, that looks like it's about even, and if it's not, then people will just yell at us afterwards. Although they tend to
We'll
do
find
that
out.
anyways. They tend to do that anyway, so.
They're going to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you guys ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, let's grab 30 seconds of silence first, starting now. Okay, that should be good.
Yes.
Okay, both of you ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to the Withdrawal Podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a little bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, I run with the Will.
AR Paul for Digimon System Restore.
And May from Lost in Translation Mon.
And not as long as a wait as it has been the last few episodes because we have stuff to talk about and lined up relatively nicely.
Yeah, that stream came at a good time.
Yeah, very good time. It lined up nicely and not too much from the stream where we feel like we had to get 100 thoughts together in less than a day.
Yeah.
So it worked kind of nice. So I guess first up, how's everyone been doing? Is it 2 weeks or three? I've kind of lost track, to be honest.
It's
I think
three,
2
I
weeks, right?
think.
Oh.
Yeah, about three. May's been off having fun at a
Yeah.
convention, as everyone who's on Twitter has seen.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Great.
I'm impressed you're able to get up on a Sunday morning. That's really hard to do at conventions.
My brain is just permanently wired to wake up at 6:30 a.m. But basically, because I wake up at 6:30 a.m. every day, so that's basically it. Also, I'm always tired, so yeah, the convention's pretty great. I saw an Atmon poster, which was pretty exciting because I didn't expect to see an Atmon poster. It was at the Japanese Tourist Bureau booth, and that was good. I like Atmon. It was a surprise. I was very excited.
And anytime you see Atmon at a convention, it's worth freaking out over.
Yeah, especially because I've not really seen anyone talk about Atmon who's actually Australian, because obviously it's not available legally in Australia or anywhere in the world, I guess, except for France and China and Japan. Oh no, Taiwan, I think, right?
And Portugal now is getting it pretty
Portugal?
soon.
Okay.
So here's going to be
Portugal's...
here's going to be a very interesting question and a rare time where we do a tech thing in the middle of the show. I'm going to mute my mic and then I want you guys to tell me if you can hear me.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I heard him. I think I heard him cut out when he clicked mute.
Yeah, there was definitely a sound of cutting out, but otherwise I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear him. If he's talking right now, I can't hear him.
Okay, that's very odd
Mhm.
because the VU meter shows that I was still talking.
That's
So,
weird.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
really weird, but oh well, I'll figure it out
A good
afterwards.
test.
A very strange test because I literally was muted and talking to you guys while you're talking, and it said you could hear me, but very clearly you could not.
Mm.
Recomon's been infected with the L virus.
Yeah, who knows? We'll figure it out next time. Everything seems to be roughly okay. May has a bit of an echo, but I think that's just her microphone. Because
Yeah, 'cause
since
I'm
Ian
not,
was
like-
asking.
Yeah, I was trying to move a little bit, and because there's a couple of the I think there's an Agumon attached to the mic at the moment, so I'm just gonna move him a little bit away just in case like he's affecting my mic in some way.
Agumon trying to ruin the podcast. Agumon,
Yeah.
you don't need to do that, Agumon. We do that just fine on our own.
Oh no, and there's a couple of Edgemon
See-
around here too.
Is he getting into your breakfast?
He probably wants to, but like it's just Nutri-Grain and oats and milk, so.
He's not picky.
Shall we get to the
He can do
news?
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, this is technically a Digimon podcast. We're forgetting that.
I keep dropping Digimon references to keep it topical. I'm
True.
trying here.
True. So first up, the toy and game live stream did happen, and news from that will be plucked throughout the podcast. But I just wanted to go over a couple small things. The first was the very nice Shikishi that Asmaria drew of Digimon X. I mean, it looks nice, and it is funny just how like specific his style is.
Mm.
Mhm.
And then the high point of the stream was Takuya Iguchi, who plays Doraemon in Rear Eyes. He was playing like the fall man for the stream, where like he was like playing the guy being silly and out of his sorts. He
I love that.
Yeah.
he transformed the Tentomon toy, didn't do it correctly, and then he held it up with this look of like mute anger on his face, and he said it was just his X evolution form.
I dig it.
It's more real this way.
And then at the end, he came out wearing a sash where I believe he drew it, and Agumon, Greymon, and on the back Metal Greymon. And
How can you tell?
it has the names on
says
them.
It says Agumon and then Greymon and then Metal Greymon.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better drawing than me. Like.
I like how he
looks
went.
like
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
I like how he.
Metal
I can't
Greymon
draw either, but.
Metal Greymon looks a little bit like a character from My Little Pony.
My favorite part is how he did the arm for Metal Greymon. He just drew a line across it so that it was separated. But yeah, lots of news from that throughout. But why don't we start off with the thing that people want to know for a while? Who did people vote for the X Antibody fan vote? The answers were not quite who everyone expected. Number 2 was Minervamon, and number 1 was Roto-Knightmon.
Minervamon, that's fun.
Minervamon's fun, and I liked Kenji Watanabe's explanation of the design. When they originally had Minervamon, and when they did Mervamon, it was purposely like an adult version, and here they went the other way, making her chibi.
It's adorable. I love it. I love both.
And I like the little chain chomps on her.
Yeah. Yes.
And Roto-Knightmon, they just made a Gundam.
Yeah. That was. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to describe that other than, wow, that's a Gundam. I like the designs. Did any
Roto-Knightmon's kind of a surprise first place, but hey, I like the I like the diversity going on there.
Yeah.
Like they kind of mix it up with the rankings.
Yeah.
Like you look at the full list, and some of the ones that get up there were really interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Out of the full, we're not gonna go over the full 50, but any specific ones that their placement seems interesting to you?
I love that Omega Shoutmon got up to 8th.
Yeah, he got shockingly high, and it would have been neat to see him as an X Antibody Digimon.
Yeah, for sure.
At first, I was surprised by Terriermon, but less so when I thought, because I would have figured he would have been right up there.
No.
But I began to think about it. It's like people
No,
like
yeah,
Terriermon.
doesn't surprise me.
People like Terriermon because he's cute, and that's not going to happen with an X antibody
It's not
design.
X antibody, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a popularity contest. This is what you want to see as an X antibody.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I voted for Magendramon.
Let's see, where did he rank?
So that's 15, so that's pretty alright.
15.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I would have liked to see Lilithmon X antibody.
I feel like they picked 50 good choices in general, like to look through and go, a lot of these I would actually like to see.
Mm.
I thought the list itself had more than 50.
It was about 50.
I thought that list was way long.
No, I think it was about 50. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah,
I looked at it a few times. I kind of was looking forward just to seeing who showed up, so my mind kind of went, this is it.
Well, that makes a difference for me, because otherwise it's a question of Tumon being last place or Tumon just cracking that list. That changes how I feel about it.
But yeah, now interestingly, they did focus on Imperial Dramon more than you'd figure, considering he didn't actually get anywhere on the he didn't place.
He got third.
But third doesn't matter.
Fighter mode got third.
No,
I know, but
that's what I mean. Fighter mode didn't.
Consolation prize.
I know, but I mean they displayed him as if he was one of the ones chosen. So I'm wondering if they're just going to do him anyways. And
Maybe
I will
they
say
just
that
assume he'd win.
Possibly. And can we just say, like, it's very neat that Susanumon ranked so highly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one that shocked me the most overall, though, I'm kind of surprised that Holy Angemon ranked so low. It may just be because he shows up in so much stuff, everyone didn't feel obligated to vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then maybe Seraphimon took some votes away.
Yeah, that's true also. He would have been
Also,
more interesting to see.
I'm also surprised a little bit to see Eravedramon.
I thought he'd be...
I kind of expected...
I thought he would have done... I thought he'd do better.
I thought Eravedramon would have been in top 20, to be honest. Because he's still popular from the manga.
For sure.
Although, just adding spikes to him might not be an appealing design, just in my head. Do we have any more to say about the rankings?
Well, that's how I feel about most X antibody designs.
Look, we're going to add spikes, we're going to add a couple green gems, and maybe some of the weird light hair stuff that we never figured out a name for.
And the chain chomps. Don't forget the chain chomps.
Yes, the occasional chain chomp. Moving on, we got all the details for the Digital Monster X, and it feels like it is both exactly what we expected and completely different. Any thoughts on it? Or not really? Yeah, all right.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have any thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts either. Otherwise, I'm excited. I like Dracomon. Dracomon's the best thing ever.
Yeah, the interesting thing is they pointed out a few. I mean, like, is anyone really gonna be surprised that Beelzebubon X is showing up in it? Not really, but some of the new ones actually were kind of surprising. The Renamon design's great. Tyrannomon, I'm still trying to decide what I think about that Tyrannomon design. It's different.
I feel like we've already had Tyrannomon X. Like, wasn't that one of the one on the pendulum? Oh, no, that's Quaggamon maybe. I know. I feel like I've seen this design before. There's been some Tyrannomon X's, but not the main one, at least off the top of my head. Dracomon X is... I don't know why I find this design so weird. I love it. It's so spiky.
I don't hate...
X antibody.
Yeah, I like the horns. I like the horns.
I don't dislike it. It just, for some reason, it doesn't feel Dracomon-ish enough to me.
Well, I guess because normal Dracomon's kind of like a bit soft and cuddly looking, and this one's kind of pointy and sharp looking.
True.
It's an X design. It's got to be a little harder.
And I don't know.
Hard world out there.
And I don't know why the Bill Starmon X design makes me laugh. Like that, may be a stereotype X design where you can see the extra points, you can see the shiny light.
Mm.
It just kind of makes me laugh because it is exactly what we expect.
What you'd picture when they're gonna mess with Belstarmon.
Yeah. Then during the stream, they showed Sakuyamon X, and that's a design. I don't know much more to say about that for now.
I don't know why it's a design. I would much rather see like maybe a mech version of that. That'd look sick. Don't know why she has to be basically naked.
Someone has to be. But yeah, it feels a bit off for what. It feels a bit off just even for an X antibody Digimon. Like, it doesn't quite match what you'd expect look-wise. And they're hiding the one we all want to see, though. Diablomon X by Asmaria. I don't know what the hell to expect for that one because he's already all pointy.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that one I really want to see. And they also revealed 2 non-X antibody Digimon for it, Sistermon Seal and Damemon. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so happy when they include Damemon and stuff. I don't even like the character that much.
I love the character. I don't like the design. But at the same time, I like the character, so I kind of root for him.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, this one has a full adventure mode, which most of the modern stuff hasn't generally had unless it's a Digivice. So we'll kind of see how they deal with that. I mean this in the most positive way because it will sound negative, but the nicest thing about these, the packaging looks crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a way. I'm not saying the rest looks bad, but the packaging just looks so nice for these.
Yeah, they look really good, and also the colors are just really good, and I'm excited. Yeah. I'm very excited. I'm also happy that they kept the Digimon's shape instead of the Pendulum one, because the Pendulum X is just huge. Like, it's just unnecessary. It's huge and flat, and I don't like it. And this isn't a pendulum, I'm guessing, because it doesn't have it doesn't say pendulum, so maybe it's not a shaky one.
It'll be interesting to see. The biggest argument people seem to be having right now is their feelings on using an old shell. And my general feeling is, one, it looks great with the new color scheme. I mean, it looks really nice. And I'm not really concerned with the shell looks nice. Would it have been nice to get a new shell? Yes. I'm more concerned to see if the internals end up being something people are happy with.
Though I'm mainly excited because this is the first time that it seems that we have a VPET since the originals that isn't just a version 20th or a reboot. It seems to be a new one entirely. This is a new thing. This is like, it's got potentially new internals, new like things in it. That's exciting. It's not just like the version 20th where it was more or less just like a more advanced version of the original one. This seems to be like this new thing because it doesn't say version 20th.
Exactly. The version 20th were basically, for lack of a better term, version 2.0s of the original ones. Yeah. These seem like, at least based on what we've seen, this seems sort of like a fusion of the original, the Pendulum, and the X.
Yeah, and that's exciting. This is a new product. It's not just like it's not just something we've had before, and that is exciting. It's its own thing.
And oddly, they're not charging extra for it, which I mean 3,780 yen is not that bad. I mean, that's even with intermediary fees. If someone wants to get one, that's sort of in the range where anyone can get at least one.
Yeah.
Pre-orders will be open until November 15th, and they ship in March.
Yeah, and the pre-order's already up on Nippon Yasan, so I've already pre-ordered one of each, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Which color do you think looks better?
That's actually really hard because I always go for like the blue, and the blue and white looks really good, but the red and black looks so edgy. I love it. It's really hard. I
generally prefer the red and black.
I think red and black, but the white and blue is fine.
I think I like the white and blue better, but I think the black and red is more striking. Like, it just pulls your eye in. Just the combination works well. It works well to the point that the colors don't even make sense for the Digimon they have on the cover at all.
Oh no,
Well, I guess
no.
red is WarGreymon and Metal Garurumon is blue, so...
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
The blue works.
The blue
The
works
blue and
for
white works
Metal
fine
Garurumon.
for Metal Greymon though, or Metal Garurumon,
Yeah.
but
Red and black
yeah,
don't
the
really
black and red
match
doesn't make
him
any
at all.
sense.
In fact,
Yeah.
at first
No, not.
I thought it was what's his name, Gaiomon.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because at
Yeah.
first I didn't see it said where it said WarGreymon. I didn't notice that at first. I'm like, oh, that's an odd choice, but interesting. Yeah, we're gonna hear a lot more about these, I'm sure, though.
Exciting.
And moving on, they put up a single comic image based on the Chronicle X Chapter 2. And the interesting thing is they revealed that So Moriyama was actually the artist for Chronicle, and he's doing the new ones. So it's literally a sequel to Chronicle.
Yeah.
Which is just I don't know why that never occurred to me, but that is interesting. Plus, it's kind of neat that this is going to be included in the booklet, just like the original Chronicle was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of neat. And moving on to this feels like this was some of the most exciting news in the past week. They did a bunch of Sistermon Seal updates at the basically all together, including that she's in the Digital Monster X, and they redesigned her sort of, basically to be a standalone character.
Yeah. It's not quite as much of a palette swap. Yeah.
The only real change, I mean, some of the colors have been tweaked, but the only real change was the hairstyle, and they got rid of the guns and gave her a sword.
Yeah. Those are good changes, though.
Oh no, they're good changes.
They definitely define her a lot more.
What was really nice was they gave us the art at a real resolution.
Oh, the big one was that they made her a data type.
Yeah.
I was calling for that when they first announced CL as a change in the original Hacker's memory. Yeah.
Then they
better make her a data type, and then they did. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. Then they also did the cute social media artwork of her.
They need to push an update of a Hacker.
No, they're not going to change that at all.
Well, they're not going to do that.
No.
No, I don't care about the design. No, I just want the data type.
No, they're not. I guarantee you they're not going to change that unless they add her in everywhere. Then on top of that, they gave the code to get her as a Copymon in the 20th anniversary pendulum. The code is 231652. The revised design actually works really well. I kind of wish they had kept the gun and maybe made it a gun sword or something, just so it matched what she had originally.
Yeah.
But I like what they've done. It looks good.
I just love that they just we're gonna canonize her now.
Well, she was always canon.
She's part of the team. Yeah, but this is like indisputable.
Oh,
there's 3 of them now.
AR, we both know that just saying it's indisputable means someone is going to message you arguing why it's not.
Yeah, like saying that it is like a bit of a challenge, right?
Yeah. AR is going to be harassed about why she doesn't count. AR also wants to argue about Citramon.
Citramon needs to be canonized.
Citramon is canonized. He was animated by Toei. He counts.
That's a good point.
I want Citramon in a pendulum too, though.
Yes, we need. No, we need
Citramon in a pendulum.
He can be the final boss in the Digital Monster X.
He can be the final boss and survive. He can be the final boss and survive.
Yes, he can.
They brought back the old Falcomon design. They brought Labramon. They can bring in Citramon.
Just have a giant orange voiced by Don Patch show up.
Yeah. Just if it was like a DLC to survive, I dig that.
That wouldn't ruin the mood at all.
Nope. So moving on to the next bit. Digimon Season 1 is on Starz, which was kind of a surprise. I mean, it's not on their linear channels, it's on their on-demand and their apps, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. It's one more place to watch it.
Yeah. Do we have anything else to say about this?
Somebody needs to load Data Squad.
Data Squad will start showing up.
You can get seasons 1 through 4 pretty easily on various sites.
Data Squad will start showing up places properly once Toei's decided what they're doing. Now that everything seems to be back.
I just got Data Squad on DVD, so I'm pretty happy owning it physically.
Yeah, I mean, I have it too, and I actually watched it a couple of episodes a few weeks ago for fanfic reasons. But no, having access to it on streaming, that would be very nice to have for a season that needs more love.
I mean, I just wish that the English subtitles were legally available for all the seasons.
Well, I wish.
Easily.
Hey, I wish that for every season.
Like, I think the only one that you can access legally in Australia is Cross Wars, is all on Crunchyroll.
No, that's the only one. Period.
Okay,
Yeah,
is that the only one in?
The only one. The only one.
And Try are the only ones with subtitles.
There have been
Adventure as well.
There have been times where things have been available, but that's it. I believe the really junky, like the junky ones from 10 years ago, are still on PlayStation for O2, but those aren't really watchable. And that's not a joke. They're hilariously not possible to watch.
That's awful.
Yeah, seasons 1 through 3 have had subtitle versions available at times. The quality has been pretty off.
Yeah. I believe them.
I don't think any of them have.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't think. Yeah, other than that, maybe that PlayStation channel, there's none available now.
Yeah. The ones that were up a couple years ago, they were still revising them every once in a while and cleaning them up, but at the moment, no, there's not anything. Moving on to more DVDs, though. We have the cover for the UK Tamers set, and it's basically just the Australian box art. They just changed the way Henry's hair is a little bit.
Yeah, it does look like the Aussie box art.
Yeah,
I like the Takato's art has never changes. Like Takato's the same from the US cover. Everyone else is different.
Yeah.
He's just so excited. He's just happy to stay there.
Yeah. He's just happy to be out on DVD.
That's out September 24th, and Frontier and a 1 through 4 box is out late October for the UK. Their long, slow march to finally getting everything. And
finally, people in England can see Frontier for the first time ever, I'm sure.
And shockingly, we have more Tamer stuff to talk. We have more Tamer stuff to talk about than when there was actually Tamer stuff to talk about. A third Battle Spirits Digimon booster set is going to be Tamers themed.
I'm so excited.
Digimon Camaro card slash. All we have so far is the Art of Gilmon, which looks fantastic. I mean, it really looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the only stuff they told so far is Tamer's characters will show up. They're adding in the Grand Walker Nexus cards, which are basically like support enhancement cards that you need in nice decks, and all the old cards will still be compatible. And that
we can't wait to see that Kulumon artwork.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here for. Yep.
Every new batch of Battle Spirits art has just been fantastic, and I really can't wait to see more of it.
Does that mean we can get to add support cards for Kulumon?
It will be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what they include him as, because he could just be a support card. It'll be interesting to see, regardless.
I mean, he basically was a support card in the series, so it makes sense.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more to say about this, but at the moment there just isn't much to say about it. And moving on, better images of the 4th series of Capsule Mascot figures. As I recall, the first 2 sets were nice, and the 3rd set May really did not like.
I liked them, but it just had issues.
Yeah. It feels like this one might have less issues because there's less thin pieces. Just based on looking at them in general. I don't know. I like the choices. The Gabumon looks great based on the original art. It really looks nice. And these should be coming out like right around now.
Yeah. I'm worried about the
Metal
Garurumon.
Mamemon looks pretty good too.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Garurumon and the Metal Mamemon look like that. Those could get
Metal
Gen Z
Mamemon.
spots.
His only real problem, I think, is going to be those claws.
Yeah.
Yeah, those claws scare me.
Yeah.
But they can be like Angemon's pole in the third set, which just like basically came out of the Gutcha ball, just basically bent because it was in the shape of the Gutcha. It's not great.
Yeah, but I will say this: for 300, they look nice for the price, as long as
Yeah,
they come out
sure.
of the box decent. Let's go with.
Oh yeah, like even the third set, which I said had some issues, like it was still fine for the price.
Yeah.
Like I still liked them. They're still on my desk. I just found them a little bit weird when you compare to the sets beforehand. Like the first set was just really, really amazing quality, and the second set was just like, okay, there's like Metal Greymon looks a bit weird. The Agumon is a little bit not as good as the first Agumon, but it's still fine for the price. And the third one was just like, okay, we're really deteriorating quality here, guys.
I think what happened was the first one, they were like, 20th anniversary, let's make them really nice. And they went, wait, these are $2.50 crap toys. Why are we making them so nice? Going on to actual nice toys, though. Atler Kabuterimon is out. This is like the best looking one we've seen so far.
This one does look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not difficult to deal with. He's only ranked 5 out of 10 on the chart.
He's not a Royal Knight.
No, he's not. The one thing I do like in the one preview where the one Bandai guy's going, if you put him on the desk as Tentomon and you look at him, you can almost hear the voice calling out to you. like looking at the Tentomon images, you almost really can hear it, and like just on the other, the inside of your ear, you can almost hear it going, Koshiro-han. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to this one, to be honest, because it really looks nice. You getting this one, May?
Of course, I'm getting all the Digivolving Spirits ones. Like it's basically my favorite toy line from Digimon at the moment. Like especially the Diaboromon one is still my favorite. But like, of course, I'll get all of them. I love them.
Now, shall we move on to the most shocking news that no one saw coming of the year?
Oh, definitely.
They're doing Black WarGreymon.
I'm excited.
I am too, because it looks nice. While it's going to be a premium Bandai exclusive, they're not charging a price premium for it. The number of people who seem completely shocked and upset that they're doing this, I feel like this was the most obvious thing to happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh no, it's a nice little exclusive. I'm surprised they actually gave him a number in the sequence.
I would have guessed that they would have done something like 01C or something.
5
yeah,
or
01B or
yeah.
But I also suspect it's because
this is number 8.
Yeah. I also suspect it's because it's a collector's line. They want them each to have a nice big number on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice that that's coming out. I really hope the packaging has, the O2 logo. I'd like to see some differences in the way the coloring's handled for him.
Yeah. Just switching up some little stuff here and there on the packaging would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, the color, and this is where the coloring works out a bit better for him than it does for WarGreymon a bit, because they can use so much black. It just looks really. I mean, it looks really nice. I'm gonna be stupid and order this, although I probably will wait.
Then you can pose Black WarGreymon and WarGreymon fighting.
Yeah.
You can pose Agumon and Black WarGreymon having a chat.
Now
having a philosophical conversation.
Now here's the interesting thing. The pre-orders actually go up September 21st. I would recommend people wait a week or two, because historically this type of not necessarily of Digimon stuff, but of this type of figure generally will go up for pre-order at US and sometimes other countries really quickly after.
Yeah, and my experience with premium Bandai is that Nippon Yasan usually have it like a little bit after as well.
But the thing is,
usually better.
But that's just an intermediary. There's no difference. That's what I'm saying is
Oh, you're
most.
saying like actual
Yes,
actual American distributors, right?
yes, I'm specifically like, for example, there was a lot of Sentai figures at one point, and a lot of times those would be premium Bandai exclusives because it was just a helmet change,
Oh, right, yeah.
and they would be normal figures in the U.S. They would get full releases here without having to deal with an intermediary. So I'd say if someone wants to try to save a bit of money, waiting the week or two is probably worth it because they're probably not going to sell out in a week or two. Because while the price is only about $60, that's still going to end up being $20, $30 with an intermediary. And if it shows up at an Amazon, you can skip that extra money and save it. Which can be nice and spend on other pointless crap. So yeah, um, I'm trying to decide which other ones I expect repaints of. Like, it feels like they could do Metal Groomon. I'm just not sure they will. Because Black WarGreymon kind of feeds into not only being a recolor, but he's a popular character himself.
Yeah, Black WarGreymon is he's an established character from the anime, and people have memories of him. Metal Gurumon, not as much.
Yeah, it's one of those where they still might do it. It's less obvious if they do it.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see Oryumon as a premium Bandai exclusive? Where do you think that's going to end up showing up?
That one I really don't want to get its own number. They might do it, but I think that.
Sorry, go ahead.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun if they did it.
I kind of feel like what they may do to be sneaky is do a silvery Alphamon that comes with him.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they kind of paint him silvery instead of black. Do it silver, include Oryumon, and then throw it as a premium Bandai exclusive for like $100. It feels like something they may do. And moving on.
I mean, with this guy out, anything goes.
Yeah. The products that were sold at the Wada Koji Memorial Live concert are available to order, if you want to deal with an intermediary. But they're only available until the 18th, and I think one or two things actually are being discontinued today, so if anyone wants that, you kind of have to rush. There's nothing here I want. I kind of want the Shikishi, but not enough to actually buy any of the products for it.
I mean, the shirt looks nice, but yeah, nothing essential here.
Yeah. And then in November, a new Ayumi Miyazaki concert that's going to have a school theme. It's November 17th at the Sorry, go ahead.
Such a strange concept, this school festival theme.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some reason for it that we're unaware of. I'm just not sure what it is. The interesting thing is Imajo from Psychic Lover will be there on guitar, which is another fun Digimon connection, and Psychic Lover just does great music anyways. Apparently, anyone who shows up in a school outfit gets a free gift.
That's cool.
But they have to commit to it.
Yeah, because there is nowhere on site there's no changing rooms on site, so you have to show up in it. Concerts are on. Tickets are on sale. The first waves are about to close. The second wave will be on sale in a week. None of us are going, so shall we just move on?
Yep.
Yeah.
About a week from now is the 2018 Tokyo Game Show. Digimon Survive and Digimon Re-Arise are going to be there. I'm not really expecting any news from them. Are you guys?
No.
Yeah, it's weird because they announced everything,
of course,
and they literally just said for those two they're just gonna have trailers, hopefully new trailers, but we don't really know. So we'll see. We did get a lot of Survive stuff though, although most of it was not it's interesting, but it's not really what we want to know. We got they gave us more detailed character descriptions, then they gave us even more detailed character descriptions. We're just getting revisions of stuff we've known for weeks at this point. It's a bit odd.
It's just diving deeper into the into the background stuff before they hit the real question.
Yeah, and with
I don't mind this.
And with the story bits, they're also holding to what they told us, where they were going to be kind of playing them as local legends rather than digital monsters. Because like the story stuff calls them beast gods. They call it, I think they call it a mysterious world rather than the digital world. Basically playing it up, being in like in a more eclectic area where there's less technology around and people just don't know what's going on.
But the story itself can flip that
if
they want to.
I'm
like,
sure
you can get halfway into the story and they'll go, "Oh no, you're really in the digital world."
Oh, that's what I expect. I expect it's plot stuff that the franchise has sort of chosen to ignore over time because everyone knows it.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be interesting to see it.
But that's just sensible.
Yeah.
World
No, absolutely.
Introducing this to these characters.
I gotta say,
it's a good way to play it.
I gotta say that the character art is so amazing. I mean, it really looks fantastic.
I'm not so sure about Minoru's shorts leggings combo, but otherwise, yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm still
trying.
The characters look good, and I like some of the descriptions I've got for them.
Yeah, I'm still trying.
Like the idea that I like the idea that food management and base management are things.
Yeah.
Like that somebody's worried about that stuff.
I'm still trying to get used to like seeing the old Falcomon again because it's been so long since he's been like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's interesting to see though.
I love it.
And
Falcomon and Labramon.
And then
sure.
And the Famitsu interview. It is amazing when they do promotional interviews that tell us almost nothing we don't know. I mean, looking through the Famitsu interview, I believe the only solid thing we didn't know was that they've told us there are 3 routes and a bonus route. I believe everything else we've known word for word.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been more fun with a bunch of different permutations there. And I hope the endings are more than just bad end, good end, best end. Like, I hope there's like sacrifices and successes in all of them, or at least most of them.
It will be interesting to see.
It's not that static. Yeah. I do like that. The choices you make can affect the evolution of your Digimon instead of how you raise it.
I'm kind of curious to see how that works before I'm solidly with that or not.
Well, I mean, of course. I mean, that's
easy
that's an easy thing to abuse, and it's an easy thing to not be as interesting as it sounds. But
yeah,
the idea is good.
Exactly. The game is 30% complete, so probably like mid-late 2019. I think a lot of people were kind of hoping it'd pop up just in January. Yeah. That's not going to happen.
No.
And they've said it before, but they reiterated it. This is not Digimon Story. The Digimon Story game they've talked about before is still being made. We will see that at some point, and it'll be interesting to see since we've seen revised models of Agumon and Gabumon from the story games. So it'll be curious to see if those show up or if those were just custom made for events.
Mm-hmm. There's no promise that Gabumon would show up in this game.
I'm gonna just go. I'll go ahead and go out on a limb here and say Gabumon will show up in the next Digimon story.
So will Omegamon.
Oh, in the story? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Story, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And May's prediction. I mean, it's a wild prediction, May. I think I agree with you though that Omegamon will probably show up in Digimon story.
Man, I wonder what the next
you're
Omegamon form.
Going out on a limb there.
Yeah, I don't care how.
It's been a while.
I don't care how many there are. I would still like to see an Omegamon based on Victory and Zed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too obvious, but I still do want to see them.
Mm.
And moving on, Rear Eyes, oddly, has been kind of quiet lately. We got some news from the stream, but the most relevant things were 3 million people have downloaded it, and they're going to do a Halloween campaign with Pumpmon.
Adorable.
Yep.
There isn't I mean, is there anything else to say about Rearise at the moment?
I want it. I want it to be out here.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want the release.
Yeah,
I know that some people have been playing it, but I just
yeah.
want it
Once
in
it shows
English. I
up,
want to just dive into the story stuff.
that was exactly what I was thinking. Once it's in English, I feel like we'll all burn through the story as quickly as we can.
Yeah, like, I mean, I could
Mhm.
play it now, but I don't think my Japanese is at a high enough level to be able to do it, because I remember links that didn't have furigana, and I mean, my kanji is a lot better than it was back then, but I still feel like I'd
Yeah.
struggle with some
And-
of the vocab.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
Lynx didn't have a story.
Yeah.
It had
Like,
sort of like
yeah,
Lynx pretends it has a story.
A little bit of a story, but
it had an idea.
Yeah, Lynx pretends it has a story with its idea, but it never goes past that.
Uh-huh.
And Lynx, you're not enjoying Lynx for the story.
No, and
In Rearise, it feels like you would really enjoy it. For
and
the story.
I would just like to reiterate, I would like an Erismon plush, please.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right.
And moving on from Rearise, some 20th anniversary adventure stuff. We had a few different Twitter updates. They opened a staff account where they're going to show, behind the scenes stuff and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I hope they
Yeah.
use it. That sounds promising.
They changed the Digimon Adventure account from having 15 in the name to 20, which is not that much of a surprise.
Yeah, obviously.
And they gave us a little puzzle having to do with the escape room, and when people figured it out, they put up basically just a cover of a script that mentioned it was Pinocchio Mon's lines.
Mm.
So I didn't know there was some place you can go to enter that.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was just tweeting it back at them, I believe.
Oh, okay. I felt weirdly accomplished when I figured that out.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I solved the puzzle.
Yeah, and they also showed it on the Toy and Game stream, all corrected. But yeah, it looks like it was just tweeting it back at them, and then they tweeted that. And at one point, they tweeted part of a piece of paper that had the Digimon Adventure movie version that had no useful information from it. But I hope we'll get some fun stuff. I want to see.
No.
Do we know when the escape room finishes? Like how long it's running for?
No. As we get closer to it, I assume at some point they will say something, but we don't. It may be the type of thing where they're going to start running it, and based on interest, we'll decide when it closes.
Because, like, I would really like to go,
I know,
but I'm only there in December and January.
You know what we need, May? There should be a news site to help keep you informed.
Yes. I wonder if there's such a Digimon news site out there. Probably not, right? It's pretty niche.
Yeah, but yeah, all they've said is September 21st. We don't know anything past that at the moment. Once there is, we will make sure that you know, May.
Yay!
Because we need to also get you camera glasses to sneak into it and video everything. But yeah, so the Twitter stuff's interesting, and I really like. I want to see designs. I want to see fun stuff.
Yeah. And vague statements about the plot that we won't be able to decipher until we actually see it.
And also, the most important thing to put, since they like doing with the games, is give us information we already had, but pretend it's new.
Yeah.
And moving on from that,
content.
Pre-orders went up for Part 6 in the U.S. It's December 4th.
That's
Hooray!
Not too far off.
No, that's pretty good. It will be finished. Yeah. We still need data information.
I was saying November, so December 4th isn't the worst.
And of course, that will be in theaters this Thursday, which I assume AR is going to.
Yep, I've got tickets.
Yeah, me too.
I have a ticket, I should say.
Yeah,
So if anyone's in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, I will be doing autographs after the show.
Just remember, everyone, it would be very wrong to take a swing at AR after the show. Wink, wink. But yeah, that...
I have had, for the record, in my lifetime, this is the subject for the end of the episode, I have had people ask me for my autograph before. This is a thing that has happened in my past.
I have also, and I had someone ask to take a photo with me, which was very, very odd for me to consider. But yeah, so that's in theaters Thursday. and December 4th for Blu-ray and DVD, and we will probably get the news about the box. I would expect that the same day, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And moving on, look at this gorgeous Merciful Mode figure they announced.
Yeah.
What
Now,
a surprise! Honestly, who could have ever predicted the fact that they were doing a merciful mode figure?
I know.
Well, we were talking about when they were gonna start coming out with some
Yeah.
of the high-end tri-merge.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I know this Omegamon character isn't that popular, but man, it sure is shocking to get a figure of him.
Mm.
Now, the interesting thing is they haven't said what line it's in, but I would hazard a guess that it's not Gem. Because if you look, they showed us the Bandai artwork. And what line matches the Bandai artwork exactly every time? The Gashapons.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I think it's gonna
I think it looks bigger than that because it's got like a. Oh no, the stand is
Ah,
a little bit like Devimon.
but remember, they announced the premium line.
Oh yeah, with the WarGreymon.
Blitzgreymon.
Oh, WarGreymon, right.
And which oddly they had said was going to go up at the end of August, but has not. So I wonder if they're going to announce like a big wave one all at the same time, maybe.
Yeah, I think it'll be like a big drop.
Oh.
I don't think it's going to be
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be random. I just think they might announce more than one figure at the same time. But yeah, it looks nice, and I want to see what the wings look like in the final version.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that line. Because if bigger Gashapon style figures, but fancier ones, I want to see Zero Maru. I mean, like, I really do want a figure of him. Do a figure of him dancing.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah. Shall we go on to the actual topic?
Yee.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do outside of Digimon? I guess first should we say like what we do in the sense of work? Who would like to start with that?
Oh, that's a good question. So yeah, I do. I'm a content manager for a online retail site.
Cool.
So that.
Did someone turn on a waterfall?
Oh yeah, my
that was-
desk is next to the kitchen.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Because I live in an apartment, so it's kind of like entrance, desk, kitchen.
Makes sense. AR, why don't you continue?
yeah. Oh, yeah. So
I'll
I do.
mute the mic.
I do content for an online retail site.
Okay.
So adding products and making
Okay.
sure everything's accurate and such.
Okay. What do you do, May? For everyone who isn't aware.
I'm a software developer.
And I do quality control for anime discs. Shall we move on from that topic?
Good topic. Questions.
No, haha. But yeah, so I guess first, AR, I think you wanted to talk about one of your big hobbies, which is doing convention stuff.
Yeah, so I'm the programming chair for Kitsune Con, and I thought it'd be fun if we're talking about stuff outside the episode. I mean, I could talk about all of my sports interests and how I do stuff like public address for semi-pro soccer and high school football and basketball. But I think the anime thing is probably what's going to really catch people's attention, is being programming chair for Kitsune Con, which is great because they've had so many Digimon-related guests over the last couple of years. So
Yeah.
if anyone does have any questions about what goes into organizing anime conventions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Yeah, grab them as they ask, and we put them in the questions at the end.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think one thing everyone does know is May likes skating.
Yeah, May likes skating so much. May kept on injuring themselves quite often.
At great risk to the personal health.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, skating's fun. I've skated a few times since, but like I haven't done the aggressive skating since I broke my collarbone. I want to go back to it because it's fun, but I don't want to die. I'm sick of hospitals. I've been to hospitals 8 times this year. I don't want to go to any more hospitals. I'm done with hospitals. I just got medically cleared.
8 times?
Yeah, so I went there when I sprained my ankle, and I went there when I broke the collarbone to emergency. So I've been to emergency twice, but hospital in general 8 times. And then I had 3 following checkups for the collarbone, like X-rays and consultations with like surgeons to see if I needed surgery. And then I had 3 sleep studies.
Ugh.
So yeah, lots of hospitals. Done with hospitals. Never want to go back. Thank God they're free.
Yeah. So, skating's a big hobby, Maze. AR, what are your hobbies that people might not be aware of?
Oh, no, I just do that I'm not aware of. Probably not very many because I do spend a lot of time writing and raising a child. That's a hobby. That's a big hobby right there. But I do also, I do also play a lot of fantasy football and stuff like that, and the obvious video games and all that stuff.
Yeah. Mine is video games, movies, and lots of reading. And I think me and AR will skip the hour we talked about old adventure games last time we did this topic.
Yeah, although I am playing Chrono Trigger again because that went on sale on Steam.
Did they finally fix that?
Yes, they did. It's much better
Oh, fantastic.
from the one they released. Yes, they got all the kinks worked out of that.
Oh, that's good. Most recently,
Yeah.
I had been playing the new Spider-Man game, and that's fun. And
I've heard it's amazing. Like,
oh,
we
it
haven't got
really
yet,
is.
But I've heard it's incredible, and everything is great except
Yeah.
for Peter Parker when he's not in the Spider-Man costume.
You know, I actually find that stuff kind of interesting because it almost turns into like a pseudo RPG where, walking around and looking for stuff. I think some of the puzzles get a bit too esoteric, especially since it's not like their gameplay puzzles. It's you go there and then you get a list of puzzles to complete that's just standing there and doing the puzzles.
Mm.
My main issues are stuff like let's say there's a mission where you have to go in stealthily and you're doing all sorts of stealth takedowns almost like the Arkham games.
Uh-huh.
But if you take out everyone, then a bunch of enemies just show up and start rushing and it's like, why was I doing the stealth in the first place? Because if I failed, the enemies would rush me and attack me. If I succeed, more enemies show up and rush me and attack me. It's the type of thing where basically they thought out a very interesting mission that makes sense, and then no matter what you do, you just fight an army of guys.
Jeez.
But yeah, the game's been really good. The swinging is the best it's been, even better than the old movie 2 game. And that is where a Spider-Man game lives or dies, is how fun that is.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I've never actually played a Spider-Man game. I mean, in completion, like what I did have was when I first got my PS1, it came with a demo disc, and that came with the Spider-Man game.
Oh no,
the
that
demo was pretty fun.
That was a fun game. That one was.
But that's like the only experience with the Spider-Man game that I've had. That demo disc, which was baller. It had Tony Hawk and it had Crash Bash, and I think it was called Crash Bash. And yeah, it's had a bunch of cool games. I think I spent more time playing the demo disc than actually any of the games I had. Also, it had Vib Ribbon. That was baller. Very hard, but baller.
But yeah, when I finish with Spider-Man, I don't know what I'm gonna play. I might go and play Dragon Quest V or just some old RPG.
I still live on old RPGs. I've been getting into Link to the Past randomizer lately. It's good stuff.
Did you see the new randomizer they made? It's Metroid and Zelda.
Oh, and
anytime you walk,
combined?
No, so okay, imagine you're playing Metroid. You walk through a door, and then the scene changes to Link to the Past.
Huh.
But the items are also mixed up in between them.
Oh my! Wow.
Yeah, that
I can see that working.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I can. Yeah.
I just don't have the time for that.
Yeah, I suck at Metroid. I'm okay at Link. I'm fine at Link to the Past. I was never a good Metroid.
Oh, I love Link to the Past.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to play Dragon Quest XI, but I kind of have waited because I'm hoping they'll release it on Switch.
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, I've sort of hit that point.
PS4, yeah?
It is. It's on PS4 and PC. I've sort of hit that point where I want everything on Switch.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% the same. I'm just like, well, it's not on Switch. Should I just wait until it's on Switch?
Yeah, it's one of those things where they're making it on Switch. We don't know if it's going to come out in our areas on Switch, but I kind of am waiting.
Yeah.
We can hope.
Yeah. And I've been seeing a lot of movies this year, more than I've ever seen before.
Oh yeah, me too. Like, this year's been pretty good for movies.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could see more movies. With a kid, movies are really hard.
Yeah.
See,
that's one thing I've sort of had to cut out.
Well, do you have any drive-ins? Because they're pretty good if you bring along people who usually aren't very good for the movies, like my dog. So I can imagine a baby would also be fine.
We might have
dogs
to
are
try
like
that
babies,
sometime.
right?
I'd be a bit right. I'd be a bit nervous about that. There is a drive-in in the area. That might be something to check out sometime.
Yeah,
because I saw Infinity War, but I was like, I have a dog, but he lives with my parents because I live in an apartment. So I was dog sitting when they were away at their place, and I wanted to see a movie, but I had to like also be home to look after the dog because he's got weird abandonment issues. So I took him to the movies, and he was a really good dog. He just sat there and he looked up occasionally and he slept, and he was just he was really happy. So like I can recommend drive-ins for if you have a child or a dog, especially like a young child, because they can just sleep and you can sort of turn down the volume on the receiver because it's just through the radio. So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be something we would do. Like, there's one in Wisconsin Dells. If we ever did like a family day in the Dells, just stay there and take in a movie at the end while he falls asleep. It might be interesting to try out.
Yeah.
The thing about movies is they're so expensive, like $30 per person. That's just like, that's not good.
Well, the drive-in has pretty good rates too. So plus we can bring our own food.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bringing your own food thing is why I like drive-ins.
See, in my case, it's a bit cheating because I have a movie theater right across the street from my house. And they bring the drinks and food to you, so they will just refill popcorn and drinks endlessly.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I will just go to the movies. I'll order a drink, a popcorn, sit there and enjoy it. And they show a lot of older movies also for $5, which is fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have a place near us that does that. It's called the Astor, and it's like one of those really, really, really old theaters that they've basically done up a few times, but they're really like old, and they show they show
nice.
new movies, but they also show like old and special movies. Like I know they show Rocky Horror Picture Show every year at New Year's, and they usually show like Gremlins and Die Hard during the Christmas time, and
Of course.
yeah, and they're like it's like a really, really old theater, and it's just so beautiful, and they show like old-fashioned ads before the movies, like and all like, hey, no talking, no smoking, those sort of things. Like, yeah, it's really fun. They also have really nice ice creams that are like actually affordable, so I totally dig it.
Yeah. The most recent one I saw was actually they showed The Princess Bride, which that was great to see on the
nice.
big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to trek a bit for the next Digimon film. That one's a bit out of the way. But then after,
So is it?
yeah, that one 30 minutes away maybe. Not super long, but when you have one right across the street from your house and another one a few blocks away, you kind of hope everything will be local.
I suppose,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, my city does not have a movie theater, so there's one in the town on either side. So like the one to the northeast and the one to the southwest have theaters, and the one to the southwest has the Digimon, so no problem there.
Yeah. The week after Digimon's the movie that's gonna be big for me in theaters though. The original Transformers the movie.
Hey.
That one I'm just really looking forward to seeing in theaters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because Fathom's doing that. I still kind of wonder what they'll do with the next Digimon stuff. Because if it's an actual movie, we're not gonna get it for a while. Like if it's a real movie, we might be screwed for a bit.
Unless Crunchyroll continues to be good.
Well, no, remember it's not Crunchyroll,
Well,
it's Toei, and they don't
Oh yeah.
in their own.
Try was basically an OAV.
Oh, in
series.
their own their actual catalog, they show it as OVAs. They don't show them as films.
That's more Crunchyroll friendly.
Yeah, if it's
especially the way they put it up.
Yeah, if it's films, we're gonna be kind of screwed.
And we were kind of worried about that when Try first was announced.
Yeah.
When Try was movies was first announced, it was like, ooh, is it gonna be a while before we are gonna see this?
And the answer was no, it was not. I mean,
yeah,
that was still the
but
weird.
Even then, even then, it was announced 2 days before.
No, it was announced 9 p.m. the night before. There were people who woke up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There were people who, if they slept in that Friday, they went to bed. If they went to bed early and slept in, it was just there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
just wake up and try something.
Yeah, and after getting back to the non-Digimon stuff, I have to catch up on My Hero Academia because I have tickets to the movie, but I'm not caught up on the show because I've been busy with other stuff.
Oh yeah, the movie actually aired at the convention in one of the in the theaters at the convention last night. I didn't watch it because I've not seen all of season 2, but that was totally a thing last night at the con.
Yeah, I have tickets to October 2nd. I'm further in the manga than I am in the anime, but I want to watch all the anime before the movie, so I have to kind of get to it.
Yeah.
But then there's other stuff I want to do, so I just don't know. But that's kind of the one where I kind of have to. Yeah. Because I have the movie tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that's going to clash where it's like, oh, I don't have anything to do for a few days. I want to go back to playing Spider-Man. But I sort of have to catch up there. So it'll be interesting to see. And also lots of reading to catch up on because Comixology made a mistake, and I jumped in and took advantage of that mistake. They had a coupon for 50% off basically anything from Dark Horse Comics, and Dark Horse put up their own sale for a bunch of their manga half off, and the coupon was turned on by accident. So I bought all of the Oh My Goddess manga.
My regular job, I do that stuff for the coupons too.
Yeah. So
and I'm cringing a little bit now because when that stuff happens.
See,
someone like me gets in trouble.
See, the Oh My Goddess manga had not been available digitally. They were putting it up slowly over time, so I'd never bought any. And they finally put it all up like a week early, and I'm like, I want to get it, but it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And it's like, oh, half off. I'll just see what the price is. It's like, okay, that's still too expensive. Maybe they'll do a better sale. I'm like, oh, that coupon. I wonder if that works. Put it in. It's like, oh, it does. Buy. And it's like, now I own all 42 volumes. Which is nice. And just got to find the time to actually...
Oh My Goddess ran that long.
It ran for like 30. It ran for like 30 years.
Wow.
I mean, it was only like a chapter every month or two or something along those lines. But it's like 42 volumes. I don't remember where I left off is the other thing, so I sort of have to start over because I'm sure I could guess, but I want to enjoy it anyways. But it's like, I don't know where I left off somewhere in the 20s, I think. But yeah, I'll enjoy reading that. Although the early stuff, the early art does not stand up to what it became. It's not like a lot of other manga where stuff changes, but it still kind of looks the same, just better. Or the early art kind of it's kind of ugly compared to what we got later. I mean, it has its own charm, but the characters just don't look like how they look to me in early on. So I get, what have you guys been reading? Anything lately?
Not really.
Really, no.
I've just been studying for the JLPT, and that's just my life now. So like everything that I have been reading is like a Japanese children's book. Basically, I went to the library that's near my gym, and I borrowed I borrowed Pengu in Japanese. I borrowed a bunch of like Japanese storybooks, and that's all I've been doing. That's my life now.
Oh, and AR, you are correct. It is not 42 volumes. I went and checked. It's
Longer?
It's 48.
I knew that was going to happen. Knew you were going to do that.
Yeah, the problem was I went and checked, and in my head, I'm trying not to say it out loud. I'm going, wow, 40. That doesn't seem like it was 48 volumes. But then I kind of dropped out of reading it at some point, so it just kept trucking along. Let's see. Oh, and since I'm sure someone will ask, yes, that screenshot on the title card is from Star Trek.
Oh,
I assumed.
Yeah, it's just slightly more.
I didn't have any doubts.
It's slightly more subtle than I go for, and there actually was an alternate version that was more obvious. I decided that was more topic appropriate. Let's say.
I like the implication that what do we do outside of Digimon is just watching movies.
Well, because movies and TV shows are fun to talk about, especially if you keep up with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Although my job means that certain things I keep up on, period. Since part of my job is literally watching through the shows. Which can be very good or very bad based on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, watching lots of Star Trek is something else, to be honest. We can talk about video games more, or we can move on to questions. What do you guys want to do?
We can move on to questions.
Yeah, let's move on to questions. Do we have any?
I didn't see any, but
yeah, you guys go ahead and think them up.
I hadn't seen any come across. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look and see if any are banked. Someone did mention Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I didn't play that one because it just didn't look like what I wanted for. Like, whenever I think of a Spider-Man game now, I think of wanting a huge, big, open world adventure type game, and going back to a sort of not quite beat 'em up, but more like that just wasn't of interest to me, to be honest. So, still no questions yet because they probably aren't caught up with us. Oh, and the same week as Transformers, I'm also seeing Rebel Without a Cause. I forgot about that. Because that's playing there, and I already nabbed tickets for it. That'll be fun to see on the big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nico didn't ask a question, but I feel like she was suggesting that she wanted to ask about Mako figures. Because that's been a theme with her lately. And Fantasy World's
I say answer the question.
Yeah.
Because she said one of the things she's reading is my fanfic, so.
Yeah. Fantasy World's question is, what are our current thoughts on the story game? And he's mostly asking, the sense of it being time consuming. I assume it's mostly time consuming in the sense that they're not from script, like that they're just not reusing a current engine. Because Cyber Sleuth didn't just pop out of nowhere. They worked on that for a while. They just didn't talk about it ahead of time. And then Hacker's Memory used the same engine. There's nothing really that odd about it. It's just they're choosing to talk about it because they're doing other games. People keep asking. It's one of those things where, okay, they did a spin-off game. So people were asking, is there going to be another big one? So they went, yes, they're working on it. They worked on Survive, so people were going to... So they're sort of just asking ahead of time, which isn't a bad idea. And, I mean, it's hard to say anything about it because we don't know anything other than a game is being made. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it's not like it's been a hugely long gap since Cyber Sleuth, so
no,
like they can,
especially when you consider like right after there was an entirely new game in Next Order that was not, and and even Survive, while they've talked about it, being something while you wait for story, it's not like it's not completely new.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Raymond wants to know, Are any of us going to see either Venom or the new Halloween movie?
I'll probably see Venom.
I may see Venom. I'll probably wait for Halloween for home video. I just don't care enough to go see in theaters. The problem with Venom is I'm just not super interested in a Venom movie that is not Spider-Man related. And I'm sure there'll be something stuck in there. I'm just not sure I care, to be honest. Like, Venom to me as a character was most interesting when they did either Agent Venom or him as a space knight with Flash Thompson. You know, him jumping around in space was more fun than Eddie Brock with the slobbering. It just doesn't work for me as much as it did when I was 10. Juggernaut wants to know what are the tests I do for the discs. Basically, I'm looking to see if everything works. Do the menus do what you expect them to do? Are the subtitles where you expect them to be? If there's a dub, are they talking when the lips are moving? I'm basically going over them and eyeballing everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time consuming, but it can be fun. It's just a matter of getting it done because it's not work that goes quickly. Especially if it's
Right.
especially if it's a 50 episode show. It's not like I just sit there and watch an episode for 25 minutes. I might be on an episode for 50 minutes, or I might be on it for 30 minutes and then go on to the next one. Go on to the next one.
Well, I'm assuming also, it has to do some QA work for websites and such for coding, and I have to do it for our website as well from time to time. It's like QA is not not a fun show.
Oddly, it's not. Yeah, it's not that. It's not that different. It's very time consuming. It's only stressful if there's issues. It's one of those things where it's like
right.
it's like if I'm watching the show and there's a bit something misspelled. It's like, okay, it's 5 seconds just to type in what needs to be changed by someone, and then I move on. If there's a bigger problem, it could be something where it's taking an hour to write it up properly, make sure I'm not imagining it, and so forth.
Yeah.
And Nico does not. Nico is getting her hopes up for Mako since Merciful Mode is happening. Ian wants to know.
That was a step. That was an important step towards Mako.
Yeah. Ian wants to know what scene in the Tripart 6 dub are we looking forward to the most with respect to how the dub staff handles it compared to the Japanese stuff. That's a good question, but there's an inherent issue, and it's something me and AR have actually talked about in the past. The dubs have been really good, except every single part has one or two things that they trip on.
Oh, like the TK's grandma being a Mekumon part, or the Sora being Hikari for a moment in Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Or the Thai speech of in Chapter
Part
5 was the particularly rough one.
Part 6 has a lot of going round to the beginning type stuff, and I really am looking forward to that if it's done correctly. If it's not done correctly, that stuff will be painful.
I really hope they get the big Kari Thai scene towards the end right.
Yeah,
I think that the communication and the nuance is really important in that scene. And that's one I really think that it could be easy to mess up.
Yeah, well, because they messed up not an identical scene, but an identical style of scene in Part 5.
Yeah.
Like, that's one where I really... Although I'm still convinced they changed it on the disc for Part 5.
It sure felt like it.
Because people even pointed out to both of us afterwards, the stuff we were talking about right after we saw it in theaters is not on the disc. And that's stuff that I'm 100% sure was said. Like, we both agree it was said, but it's not on the disc. It's still confusing. It's just not completely nonsensical.
I mean, if they fixed it, good for them.
Yeah. But I hope Part 6 is a little bit smoother.
But that's what's one where the getting the notes right is very, very important.
Yeah.
Same thing would be with Izzy with getting Mekumon's holding the memories. That's a lot of technobabble.
Yeah.
That that has to be explained in a very you kind of have to sell that.
Yeah. To be fair though, Mona Marshall can sell that. The script just needs to work.
Yeah, Mona Marshall absolutely is capable of it.
Yeah.
It's the script that needs to step up.
Our next question is what is a good place to buy the Digital Monster XV pets? I say that
sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of theirs, but I don't dislike them. But the thing is any article like that that's on the site, I put a whole list of things at the end with exact instructions. Any of those places are fine. A lot of people use Nippon Yasan. I don't tend to like them. I don't dislike them. It's just not my place.
Yeah.
If you want to get it, it's not that hard.
It's like probably I recommend it because it's probably the most easiest. It's I mean, I use From Japan for basically everything nowadays, but in terms of like how easy things are, I think Nippon Yasan, Army, and Hobbylink Japan are like the easiest options.
I'd say DE Japan seems pretty easy nowadays. A lot of people have been using them lately. People have been using them because DE Japan occasionally tosses us coupons for people to use. Yeah, we don't get.
Wait, did you say CD Japan or something else?
DE Japan.
Oh no, I use CD Japan, but not DE Japan. No.
Yeah, they occasionally throw. Well, and that's the other thing is CD Japan does intermediary stuff also. So if someone's not comfortable using an intermediary company, CD Japan will do it for you.
I think the proxy service where you give them a link is currently down at the moment.
No. They brought it back about a month ago. Okay. So it's complete.
It was down a week ago.
There was some notice on their site about Australia, so that might just be you. I don't know, but there was something there.
Okay, but yeah, I've used CD Japan as in buying from them and using them as a proxy service. I just like From Japan is sort of like my intermediary, like my main like proxy service. Yeah. But otherwise, Army, Hobbylink Japan, Nippon Yasan are quite good. I know that Nippon Yasan has the pre-orders up for the new V-Pets.
Yeah.
So that's why I mainly mentioned them.
Yeah. I don't like Nippon because their intermediary prices always seem a bit high, especially since they tend to jack the prices up as things start to become a little bit closer to dates. Which that kind of just puts a sour taste in my mouth.
I never noticed because I usually get the pre-order like as soon as it comes up.
Yeah, that makes sense also. Fantasy World wanted to clarify that part of what he meant was that since they keep talking about how they're sort of acting as consistent releases, it's basically the new story game they knew from moment one it was going to take however long.
Yeah.
So the question is what kind of games do you do? Well, they do Hacker's Memory is using an engine that's already there. It's making new content, and it worked well for what it was. Survive is just another team doing a game basically from scratch, but without needing to do hundreds and hundreds of models. And, stuff like, based on how the scenery is done, that could go quickly for that type of game also. It's just something different to do while they're working on something else. Because Survive was probably being worked on around when Hacker's Memory came out in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's more a case of, they always have to plan if they know a game's going to take 4 years to come out, let's say, they can't do nothing for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Alan wants to know, would we like an adaptation of the manga like V-Tamer? The answer is yes.
Of course.
Yeah. I believe we've all rambled around about that a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, we'll give people a chance to throw in more questions, and then we'll call it. So, but yeah, we all want a V-Tamer anime. In the back of my head, my mind still keeps going, they could do one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they could easily do one.
Like, they brought up V-Tamer a few times during the stream.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just want more anime.
Yeah. I feel like
just give me content.
I want more anime, but I really feel like V-Tamer is something that, as a whole, fans would be behind. Minus the people.
That's an easy one you can go. That's an easy one to go to the well for.
Minus the people who seem to get more and more upset anytime anything that says adventure that shows up in it.
Right. I mean, that's a perk to having more adventure.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'd take whatever. Like, I don't want them to cling to adventure forever.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're continuing to make stuff, but
yeah. Ian wants to know.
Nice.
Ian wants to know: do you think Sistermon Nor will remain blocked off in North American media? No, because I'm not convinced it happened in the first place. I think Bandai Japan got nervous and did something stupid on their own.
I'm looking forward to an opportunity for Sistermon Noir to appear.
Because Noir has
in future North American media. Like what's down the road where she's going to show up?
Well, because she has shown up in stuff before.
What, like Heroes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly believe
I wonder if she'd show up in anything else.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if the next story game.
The next story game, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, but I honestly believe that was Bandai Japan getting nervous and doing something stupid.
At this point, when you've got all three of them, now you've got to include all three of them.
Or they end up making a fourth.
Yes.
Well, like a combination of all three.
Yeah.
Like the Holy Beast.
I think we shall call it.
Yep.
Thanks everyone for showing up. Like, subscribe. Lots of news will show up on Twitter. Where can they find you, AR?
Twitter at First Agent ARP. Also my website at digimon.firstagent.net.
And May, where can they track you down?
Basically Lost in Translation on all the social medias. I do have my own personal Twitter. That's it's Ancient Arismon. I forgot for a second.
Yes.
And I do have a Tumblr as well, and that's Airdramon. I have an Instagram, and that's Dak Faden. But mainly, if you want to catch up with my Digimon related stuff, it's usually just Lost in Translation Mon. But the miscellaneous stuff as well as some Digimon stuff, that's just my personal ones.
Yeah. And the Patreon is getting dangerously close to where I have to start doing the lead up again.
Yay!
People actually liked that the first time. It was just time consuming to do. But we're getting a few more people, and I will be doing that over and over again, yet again. So we will catch you guys next time. Thanks everyone for watching. See you later. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.